Welcome back. Today we have a super special topic that are super excited to share with you. We want to talk about what makes a hairstylist want to fire a client. Now, we have talked about this before in the sense where of if you have really good boundaries and, policies around your business that people will often like weed themselves out because they won't like your boundaries.
Mhm.
However, sometimes you got to fire a bitch.
Yes.
I shouldn't call them a bitch because
I was just gonna say, why does she gotta be a bitch?
fire a bitch. I say that as in like, Demetra's my bitch.
Right. Yeah.
Okay,
Totally
I'm
cool. Like,
I'm gonna cut this
peace.
part out.
You don't have to. I kinda like it. Fire
I
bitch. I
mean,
kinda like it. I
fire a
like it.
bitch as in a person, not that they're a horrible person, but they're
Right.
not right for my business. Right?
Yeah.
All right. So, okay, first up, my main thing is when people are constantly late, and by late I mean 15 minutes or more. And there are people who
Every
every
time.
single time. And I just don't understand that. I'm a very on time person, so it's not really something I can relate to. But some people are just like that, and it really messes with your day when you're trying to keep it on time.
Well, I mean, it's really just not fair because like if you show up for a massage appointment, I mean, they're gonna cut your massage 15 minutes short and you're gonna get, but in our case, I can't cut your hair less for a specific
Right.
style. So now you're putting me under pressure. You're making me rush your service. I have a 15-minute grace period because I know where I can and can make up. But if you're past 15 minutes, I got to reschedule you because that's not fair to the other clients as well.
Yeah. Yeah. But even if you are charging someone, I don't know if this is true for you. I don't really like to charge people
Mm,
for being late
no.
or missing their appointment that way, but it has to be done. If I have to do it several times, I would rather they not come to me. I'd rather have somebody where I'm gonna really do their hair.
Yeah. Well, what ends up happening too, um, I've had a few clients where, again, either late or just didn't show up. And, the first time you let it slide, or, some people give you excuse, say, oh, I'm sick, or y- I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about just people like, oh, my meeting ran overtime, or they're just totally late. They're pretty much missing their appointment. Second, third time, you got to like charge them for your time. And then those people sometimes just get pissed and also don't come back to you, which I find really shitty too, because it's like, wait, I had to set a boundary. I let you slide one time, two times, before I even charge you. And then finally I charge you on that third time, and now you don't even want to come back to me. But you know what? Good riddance. To be honest, we don't want those kind of people in our chairs. Like, and I know this might sound harsh, but you're right. It's like, respect my time, I'm gonna respect yours.
Exactly. And kind of in that same vein, I wanted to mention when people constantly reschedule. Like if
Yeah.
you within 2 or 3 days, I'm not of course gonna like charge you because you're rescheduling your appointment. But when people do that like 2, 3 times before they actually come in, it is really frustrating because you have to go back and fill in with your waiting list the people that had wanted that spot and couldn't get in.
Right. And it's honestly, it's always the same people.
Yeah,
It's always the same people. Like, once in a blue moon, you might have someone that does it once, but you have the repetitive people, just like the same ones that show up late. They're the same ones always rescheduling, always. And it's just not cool. It's just not.
and my tip for you, if you are a client of hairstylists and you happen to reschedule a lot because you're busy, is that if you used to be able to book online and suddenly you can't, they blocked you from booking because they want you to wait until you really, really know. And I do have
That's
like
a good
one or
point.
two people who sorry to cut you off,
No, it's
where
okay.
I tell them, call me last minute. I'll figure it out, you know,
Right. Yeah, me too. I'll
if I
figure it out
can.
too if I can. Right. Um, so I don't know, like the platform I use, I don't know if there's a block on mine. You might have to show me that.
Girl, I'll hook you up.
Okay, hook me
Okay.
up. I need to block somebody. Speaking of firing a client, I have a really good story. Want me to tell you about someone I had to fire?
Oh, yes, go ahead.
Yeah, okay. I was very new. This was at that first salon I had worked at. I think it was like my second year having my chair. So I wasn't, very seasoned. I was still very kind of naive and gullible, whatever. So this woman was coming in with her daughter, and they had a 9 a.m. appointment, and it's on a Saturday. And mind you, I'm booked solid. I probably had like 16 people that day. And they were booked for two blow dries, a 9 and a 9:30. And I told you I have a 15-minute grace period, right? So the front desk is calling, trying to get a hold of them to see where they're at. Nothing. 9:25, they stroll in. 25 minutes late. Okay. Mom comes up to me, "Oh, I'm so sorry we're late, this and that, whatever." Um, and I tell her, "Well, you know what? I'm not going to be able to take one of you. Like the whole time is up. We're only scheduled for, you know, half hour blowouts." And the mom said, "Well," and the daughter looks at the mom. I was like, "Well, I want curls too." And I said, "Well, curls are extra. You only booked for two blowouts. Like I said, that's half hour appointments. If you also want curls, that's why on the services you'll see blowout with curls. There's a reason for that because it takes more time to do it. You need the proper amount of time." So now the daughter is looking at the mom like, "I have to get my hair done. I have to get my hair done. I want the curls, whatever." So the mom looks at me. She's like, "You don't have to be such a bitch about it."
Wow.
Yes, to me. When I had said that, because I was like, I really, like, I can't, there's one of you I can't do. And then I was like, I definitely can't do curls for either one of you, because I'm like that, I don't have the time. And I look at her and I'm like, the only one here that's being a bitch is you. Because I really didn't know like what to say, but I told her that because I was so upset. I said, "You have disrespected my time." I said, "But since you think I am such a bitch, I'm gonna be a bitch, and now I'm not taking either one of you." Fired them on the spot. She turns around and tells me, "I'm friends with the owner. You
Oh,
have to do my hair." And I look at her and I say, "I don't have to do your hair. He can fire me if he wants. I will never be spoken to like that again." So I gave
good
her
for
right back
you.
at her, and I was young. I was just so shocked, and I'm like, if anyone's being a bitch, it's you. I was so mad, and then she spoke to me like that in front of her daughter, who was like 12. I was like, shame on her, but
Yeah.
yeah, I'm gonna treat you the way you treat me. So she goes up to my boss, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm totally stressed out. Like I said, I have another 14 clients. My next client's already in my chair, looking at me like, what is going on? So it's embarrassing. It's a lot. So she went to him, and he came up to me, pulled me to the side, asked me what happened, and I told him what I said. And he basically told her, which I loved this, I was not expecting it. He had my back, feel the love right here. And he basically told her, and this is a friend of his, he's like, "You will never speak to one of my employees like that." He's like, "If you do not apologize to her, you are never welcome back in this salon again."
Wow.
Right in front of me. And I was like, wow. I mean, I thought I was probably gonna get fired for talking back to her like that, and he really had my back, and that made me feel great. So, she went to Starbucks and got me a gift card and came
Oh,
back and apologized, but I still didn't take her. And he figured it out for someone to take care of them because it was for, like, they had, like, a party or something. Um, but yeah, he had my back. But yeah, so I fired her and her daughter right there on the spot. Yeah.
good.
Mhm.
As you should.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
I showed her what a real bitch is. Now that's being a bitch. I'm just saying. Mhm.
well, some people have to be schooled.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, and I will say if you are extremely rude and like degrading to a service provider, then you really should be fired. And if you aren't, then you're very lucky and should be embarrassed and not come back actually.
Yeah. I can't stand that too when I just see people being mean to waitresses or waiters, and even if you're not getting great service, there's no reason to be rude, just tip accordingly or not, or, if you don't like your service, but don't no reason to be so harsh and mean to
Yeah.
people.
Well, I have a good one that doesn't apply to you. I cannot stand it when I get clients that wanna tell me their exact formula, for their hair color, and then talk about it every single time. Like, I don't mind if you wanna say, "Oh, my last hairstylist who I loved did this formula on my hair." But when they're, like, holding you to it and do it exactly the same, and we're gonna talk about this actually next week in Hair Color 101 as to why that's not actually that helpful. It depends
Right,
where your hair
especially
is at right now.
and different color lines, right? If you
Yeah.
use a different color line, it doesn't matter if they give you the formula and, again, where their hair is, the condition of it, texture, and so forth.
So I had a person who came to me strictly because I carried the exact line that she wanted. And she wanted to talk about how you would mix these 2 or 3 colors, what ratios, and how to put it on her head.
Mm.
And at first I thought, this is naive. I thought, "You know what? I'm really good at this. I can do this. I can handle it." And every single time I saw this person for I wanna say it was like 2 years, every single time it was like, "How about just a little bit less of X and a little more Y?" And she'd be, like, talking about 5-10 milligrams out of a 60 milligram formula, and, just didn't trust me, like, she wanted to talk about it. And when you bring in to your hair colorist pictures of your hair in the sunshine, in your bathroom, in your living room, and at a restaurant, they're never all gonna look the same, just in case you didn't know. Anyhow,
Did you fire her? I hope so.
um, yes, but also, I just wanted everyone to know that for about 6 months, I tried really hard to please this person, and for the next year and a half, I lied and did it exactly the same every time, and every time she would say, "Oh, I can tell it. I can tell. That did it. That
Shut
5 milligrams."
up.
Dead serious. And I'm telling you, Demetra, I'm not proud. I don't really wanna lie.
I love you.
It just
This
made
is
me,
great.
so happy to be like, "Oh, yeah, you were so right about those, like, 2 milligrams."
Wow. You know
Placebo effect.
Mhm.
She's like, she saw what she wanted to see.
Well, you know what, too? I don't think it's necessary that she didn't trust you. She has control issues. Some clients are like that too, or not even clients, I would say people in general, right? I have one client who every time I've been doing her hair maybe 16 years, and I love her. Love her. She diffuses her own hair. She has the
Mm.
craziest, curliest, beautiful. We shag it out. She has these crazy bangs, and it's like awesome. And like, I love her. She rocks it, but she likes to diffuse her own hair. And the first couple times I did her hair when I met her at that other salon, it was funny because I was like, at first, my ego, again, I wasn't seasoned, got in the way, and I was like, "Really?" And embarrassed, thinking, and I was like, "Oh my god, this has nothing to do with me and everything to do with them." They
Yeah.
just wanna try to control the situation. So when someone's saying, "I like my bangs like this, you blow them, you hold the brush this way." Well, yeah, because when you hold the brush and I hold it over your head, it's a different angle, and it's probably coming out to the exact same angle, right?
Right,
That they're
right.
not realizing. So usually I'll hand you the brush, do your own hair then.
Mhm.
Don't tell me what to do. And I've reached the point where I'm not gonna be bullied. I've been doing this for 25 years. And you come
Mhm.
to me because you like me and you know what I'm doing. Some people, though, like I said, I don't care. Like my one client, the diffuser, I love it. I get a 15-minute break. I sit there and I watch her. I enjoy watching her do her hair.
Mhm.
I'm like, go ahead,
Yeah.
you know? But the other people that try to be more controlling and stuff like that, it has nothing to do with us, everything to do with them.
Yeah. I get that with some people, they don't want me to dry their hair because they want it to look how it always does, how they do it. And
Yeah,
it
that's
used to
fine.
bother me too, but it doesn't
Yeah.
anymore. I would just wanted to add though, s it is a little presumptuous of clients sometimes. I prefer to really know somebody and, have been doing their hair for a while before I'm handing them my blow dryer, and this could just be my OCD, but our equipment is so expensive, and
Oh,
I've worried about this all the time. It did happen once where someone was, like, just a little bit clumsy and they dropped it on the floor, and that's a big deal. I mean, these blow dryers can be, like, 3, 4, $500.
oh, I had someone break my Dyson,
Oh.
cracked it in half.
I didn't know you could do that.
Cracked
Oh,
the outer barrel part and
they drop it on the floor?
mhm, not intentionally.
Oh, I know.
It was an accident, but
Yeah,
I had to replace that, not them.
yeah. Oh, that hurts.
Mhm. But the worst is, when people come in with their kids and their kids are all over the place touching your equipment or grabbing your shears or I let them know, "Do not touch these. These are $1,000 shears. It's like a sword. You will be cut," as Barbara likes to say, "She'll cut you."
I will cut you.
Yeah.
Actually, do you know when I did my training, all the senior hair cutters were all Sassoon trained, and they all were like just like you having like crazy expensive shears. And one person had to excuse herself to go do something and then came back to finish a haircut. So she set her stuff on her station, and the person was doing like paperwork, picked up her shears and cut paper with it. You never, never, never use hair shears to cut anything but hair. Yes?
Yeah. Yes. They say it does something. It affects your blades,
It'll dull the blade.
right?
Yeah. Anyway,
It
don't get too handsy with our equipment
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you don't go into your doctor's office and grab their scalpel, and like, I
or
don't
the
know.
shoehorn.
Right. Oh boy. Oh my gosh.
Okay, that'll be episode 47.
Ri I love to be continued, people. All right.
Anyhow, well, I hope you liked this episode. We just want to let y'all know what we love and hate about you. And and even if we hate
Well,
you at work, we might want
yeah.
to hang out with you. Yes.
Yes. See, it doesn't mean like we like totally hate you. We just dislike you as a client, but we might like you as a person.
Yes. I know
You know?
some really cool people that cannot be on time, and it
Yeah.
just doesn't jive with my job.
No, I'm all about a schedule. My whole life is based on a schedule, almost a little too much with my OCD. Like my friends get mad at me, but I don't know, it's how I roll. Yeah.
All good.
Yeah.
I feel you, sister.